The housing market is what got the U.S. into the Great Recession. Masses of Americans fell into foreclosure, home values plummeted in the late 2000s, and experts believe it was due to big government regulation that allowed people to buy homes en masse, even if they couldn't afford the home. Guess what? Mortgage-backed securities were in seemingly every portfolio, and an endless parade of industries fell down the valley. In the late 2000s, experts said the housing market was what got us into the mess, and it was what was going to get us out of the mess. There's only one problem. The housing market still hasn't recovered. It is, in fact, in a double-dip recession.
The housing market has always been the Achilles heel, and until we dealt with the huge number of foreclosures and the massive amount of debt on banks' books through these really badly issued mortgages, we were never going to have a secure base to get out.
You may never guess who is now acknowledging that there's a double-dip recession in housing. A very left-leaning newspaper.
Even the New York Times now is done with the happy talk. On Monday, their editorial talks about dismal numbers. Well, those numbers have been dismal for a long time now, but suddenly somebody at the New York Times woke up. And their prescription? Oh, we got to deal with this housing mess. Duh, we should have been dealing with this housing mess back in 2008.
The New York Times editorial page has decided that the best way to handle this is through ideas that sound like what got us into this mess in the first place.
The Times, of course, says, forgiveness. Let's modify these mortgages, which is another way of saying give people money. But then the Times goes even further. We need more stimulus. They don't come out and say it. Even they don't have the guts to say that the Federal Reserve needs to do QE3, but that's what they're implying.
There is a way out of the housing problem, and it would be a little painful at first.
We have to let housing find its bottom, find a realistic price. We have to start the process of clearing out this big inventory of housing that we've got with real buyers who can afford to pay, and we have got to cut the federal debt and all debt.
Reporting from Washington, Frank McCaffrey.